and I fixed my sound. Sorry, guys. Like, for whatever reason, my settings reverted back to what I had them at before. So I'm investigating my stuff. Okay, so PS5 reveal, continuing that for a bit. So what were we specifically on? I talked about the horror stuff, and then
Yeah, you were talking about Godfall a little bit, but I think we
right, and then
finished
I
that.
finished that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were talking about like sports games and then
Oh yeah,
GTA
sports
5, how
games. Yeah.
they were re-releasing the same game like
Yeah.
33 times.
Thank you. Yeah. So if, and by the way, just to sort of preface this, if this issue happens again with my computer, I'll like I don't know what to do. So let's hope it doesn't happen again, and we can just keep going on this. So yeah, GTA 5 I don't think had any business in here. I understand it's made the most money. I know you said that, Zem. It's made just like way too much money for its own good, I
Yeah.
think. And it just continues to make money. And now like the with GTA 5, I don't want to go on a tangent on it, but nobody plays GTA 5 for the story right now. They're all playing it for like the role play and the other stuff that happens on Twitch. It's kind of like an interesting transformation of the game. Yeah, I think they're just like placeholdering it like Skyrim is a placeholder for Bethesda for the Elder
Mhm.
Scrolls. They're just gonna keep doing this because it's gonna
Yeah, it's
keep.
like
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
No.
I was just gonna say it's just gonna keep making money. So
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, don't worry guys, GTA Online isn't going anywhere type thing. Which literally if the announcement had just been, don't worry guys, GTA 5 Online is not going anywhere, then I think people would have been probably even happier.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like they didn't. I don't think they. The GTA 5 thing. Okay, if you want to stick in. First of all, I think they opened with it, which I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Second of all, again, it could have just been as you said, a thing that said GTA 5 is on PS5. You get free stuff, or there was some free stuff that you got on PS5 or PS Plus
Yeah.
or something like that,
Hmm.
and then ended it. Like they had a trailer, and I'm like, everyone has played GTA 5. We know what the game looks
we
like.
yeah we don't need a trailer for it, but yeah. And the sports games, I was just saying before, like at some point we're gonna have to do an episode on sports games because every time I see a sports game, the trailer, it's not like the graphics or anything that make me upset. It's every time I see it, it's just like it's sort of deceptive because now they're all just casinos, and like
Mhm.
you just I get so frustrated whenever I see that. There's more card game in sports games than sports game.
Well, they keep pulling out features and putting in more
More card games basically.
microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's
Like
like it's a card game now basically.
apparently in the latest Madden for create a character, there was like 4 faces to pick from. Like really?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But
That's like basically our that's like the American equivalent of what it's like for mobile gamers. Because like
yeah.
you know how
Yeah,
like the
but you have to
Chinese market is like ridiculous for mobile games, right?
yeah, but you have to pay $60 for this game every single year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not free to
it's
play. Or
and
like,
it's
other mobile game. I don't know. Maybe some mobile games cost $5-10, maybe, but
I don't know.
ugh.
I don't want to get into it because I know we'll talk about it at some point, but it's just like so deceptive and it's frankly to me it's disgusting. As somebody who still I kind of like sports games for the sports. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
but that's like for me, I don't know. I have nothing else. The PS5 trailer or excuse me, the reveal was it was good. Um I think it's like I just think it's obviously exciting. The console itself, I think the memes are better than the console. I think seeing like the Seto Kaiba popped collar meme
Uh, the the
God, yeah.
was
the the,
great.
Ka- the Kaiba one killed me, dude. That was
Yeah,
so good. That was my favorite. Holy
and like
moly.
it's a Wi-Fi router.
The mini fridge versus the Wi-Fi router.
Yeah, I
Who
think
who will
Yeah.
win?
um
And now the KFC console coming at you.
Oh god.
the KFC.
Yeah.
Yes, we have to talk about this. If you haven't seen the KFC console reveal trailer on Twitter or anything, go to KFC Gaming and find it. It's like I can't tell if it's a joke or not. I hope it's real. I hope it's real. That'll win the console wars so that I can cook and play games at the same time with the same system. It's great.
And that is a verified Twitter account. This is
Yes.
actually the real KFC gaming
Yes.
department.
They started a KFC gaming or like a gaming department in 2018 and I'm just like, is this is real? It's great. The other thing I was gonna say, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I have an opinion on this. Is anytime these reveals happen with consoles, like I'm sort of getting more annoyed with the console war tag, partly because for me I'm like, look, if you like a game, and it's just like, okay, if it's an exclusive PS5 game, whatever, okay, you can get your PS5 for it, but I just get like I get more annoyed now. I didn't used to at the people who are like, for example, I have an Xbox Xbox One, and I can't lie. I get kind of annoyed when it's just like, yeah, I'm playing this next, but like, ugh, gross. Well, it's like, come on, let's relax a little bit. Like it's not a big deal. The PlayStation does have like great exclusive games. I get that, but let's relax a little bit, guys. Like, if you really want high quality gameplay, go get a PC. If you really care about the graphics and all that.
Wait, we all like games. We don't need to judge people for what console they play
It
on.
really is. Just like it does. Like, I don't want to say it like gets me upset, but it's just kind of annoying when I'm like, I have to like sigh when somebody says like, okay, yep, get your fill in, pal.
Get your lulz in for Xbox One. All right,
The only
let's
console
go.
I will joke about and say if you have it, I don't know what to say to you, is Stadia. That's the only one I think I will be a judgmental human being on. But other than that, I don't know. Anything else you guys want to bring up for the PlayStation reveal?
Um,
Stray.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's just like all I saw was just a cat. I'm like, okay, sure.
Dude, and that's all you need.
That's all, I guess it's all you do. I'm not much of a cat person. I don't like cats that much. I'm sorry. I'm very allergic to cats. I'm sorry.
I actually am as well, so I understand your pain. I think it's just that people it was this one and there was another one. The two, like, oh my god, I forget which one it was. But there were two that were very reminiscent of like the old one-off PS3 download games that you'd find, like Flower, for example.
or Journey. Yeah.
Journey. Yeah, they were very reminiscent of those kinds of games. I think that's why,
That's
in
probably why,
particular.
yeah.
And I know there was one other one. I forget which one it was aside from Stray, and it's going to kill me that I don't remember. Unless
Can't
it
get
was
allergic
Stray.
through the TV. I like that comment. Can't get allergic through the TV. That's true.
It's true.
I should back off. That's true.
But yeah, I think that's what people are excited about. It's just like the idea of like potentially another one of those like really profound games that like do a lot with very little.
Okay, I'll get on board that. I'm just, like I said, not a cat person, so anything with cats already gets me a little bit annoyed. Like, cats? No. What about dogs? I like dogs.
What do you guys think? Okay, what do you guys think about the design? Yes, no, color scheme, design. You like it? Don't like it?
I don't like it.
Don't like it?
I
mean,
like
like, I'll
it
buy
if it
it,
works.
Yeah.
I don't care. If it works, it works. I've got a
Fair.
Super Nintendo over here, and I've had it for way too long, since like 1994, and it still works. I don't care about the design. If this thing can function, you know, the Xbox 360, for example, it had a solid design in my opinion. It's a little very simple like box thing, but that thing had the red ring of death. The disk drive was terrible. Who cares? Just let it work, please. Like the
Fair enough.
Nintendo stuff works like for forever. That's what I like about that. You can just keep that stuff forever.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys think the price point's gonna be? Speculation.
It's going to be low.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I say
It's gonna be
500.
low. I think it's
500.
maybe 500, but I think pretty low. I really do. I think they're going to try and they're trying to bring the console prices lower and lower.
I would not consider 500 low. That's
What-
like average.
Do you think that
price.
they're going to do what did you guys think the likelihood of 400 without the disc tray, 500 with?
Yeah, or maybe 450, 500, or 400,
Yeah.
450.
I would say
Like
Yeah.
the download only one. Is that what they called it? Like it's like the download
digital,
think so.
like
Thank you.
digital edition
Digital.
or something.
Digital.
Yeah, they want to have like a sexy name for it.
Yeah, if the digital edition is 400, yeah, that's what I imagine it's going to be. Is it's going to be around
I mean,
400.
rumor has it the parts cost for the PS5 was 450.
Wow. So they're really trying to push sales of these.
So,
Wow.
but I have heard that in the past, I don't know if this is true anymore, but in the past, the console makers have taken a loss on
Yeah,
the
they do.
consoles and
Yeah.
they just make all their money on the software. So if
Yep.
So if they want to break even on the console, it's 450, assuming that rumor of the parts cost is correct, which who knows. If they want to make some money on the console, it's 500. If they're okay taking a loss on it, it's probably 400. So that's kind of where I'm
I
at.
think digital should be about 400. I think that's a good price for that. And that like they should be okay taking a loss on the console, frankly, because they're making all their money with all the PS4 Plus and all the other stuff. That's where they're going to make their money, especially the digital one, because with the digital sales they can take even more of the margins because they're not having to rely on the retailers. So that's kind of where the money's going to come from. But I hope it's like 400-ish. 400 would be fine. What else with the PS5?
Yeah, if it's more than $500, then we've got another PS3 on our hands where it's $599.
You're just like, okay,
Nope.
So that's a heavy
People
price right
people
there.
aren't gonna pay for that.
But yeah, 400 I think is reasonable. I think the Xbox One. I don't even remember the name of it.
The Series X, the Xbox
yeah.
Series X.
Yeah, forgettable. It'll be like 400 too. I think they'll try and push 400 to 450, same as
because the
PS5.
Xbox One I think released at 500, and I think people bought it, but people
It had
were
the
kind of
Kinect,
like,
though.
it's a little, yeah, and they sold that as like, oh, we gotta, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, okay. I think we've exhausted this
Yep.
one. I think
Fair
the
enough.
one other thing I did want to talk with you in particular about, Zem, and I wanted to, I think would be kind of an interesting talking point, is more on the streaming side. So,
Sure.
because I know somebody had asked, I think it was Marathon Man in here had asked about the path that you have taken to full-time streaming and some of the things that you have done that you felt like were beneficial in getting interest to your stream in particular. I don't know. You can just talk about anything with it. Frankly, that's always like a big topic amongst people who are like viewers of Twitch or people who are, I don't know, aspiring. It's like important to them. So I think it's good to talk with different people about that.
So I'm gonna kind of approach this from the mindset of like, how would I explain this to somebody who wants to start streaming? Like, well, maybe not wants to start, because they don't even know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll explain this with the mindset of like somebody, like a random somebody who I don't even know how the hell the best optimize this. But basically, I'll kind of just spiel a bit and eventually come to a point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good at least finding my way to a point eventually.
That works. That works.
So, if you want to take a look at my trajectory as a streamer by the numbers, which is always a solid place to start because that's usually the first metric people care about.
Mm-hmm.
Viewership is one of the hardest freaking things to build on the planet, and I don't think that has to be told to anybody. Mm-hmm. I think everybody knows that. The problem is learning how to actually garner attention.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime somebody says, you know, because every now and then I get the person who comes in and is like, Zem, I've been streaming for about a month now. I'm streaming to 2 people. I don't know how to grow from here. And at that point, I kind of have to sit them down and say, hey, this website is hard. Mm-hmm. It's really, really hard. And by and large, the only thing people care about. And I know that, you know, I hate to generalize because, you know, that it's not always the most accurate way of tackling a problem. But in this case, it actually is pretty true and pretty proven that the only way to get a large number of people to care about what you do is to be ridiculously good at it. And thankfully, with the way that Twitch is structured nowadays, that can be any number of things. You know, mm-hmm. There are people. I know somebody, a friend of a friend, who was an extremely proficient piano player. Decided that he was just going to stream himself doing covers of game themes on the piano, mm-hmm. and he would take requests and he would play by ear and stuff like that. And he ended up getting partnered in like 2 weeks because it was such a weird niche thing that mm-hmm. nobody had seen before, but was still beloved by everyone.
Sure.
But he still picked something that he had, 2 decades of experience with, like, and that's the thing that I think people tend to lose, is that people tend to have this idea that you need to diversify yourself, you need to cast a wide net. But I would argue the exact opposite. I would say you always have to specify one very important thing to you, and it has to be something that's important, because people have very strong BS detectors. People know if you're lying, even if they don't know why, or they don't know what the lie is. And at that point, if you're trying to force yourself to do something you don't enjoy, people will very quickly catch on, because nobody stays that fooled for that long.
Right.
It's pretty easy to tell when a streamer isn't having fun on Twitch. Like when
it
really kills the mood of the stream real quick.
It's not interesting,
Like,
by the way. If you're streaming and not having fun, I'm just like, well, okay.
No.
Sorry, but.
And it's like, it's like I was just telling you guys right before this, I just got out of a 6-hour grinding session of Ratchet where I bashed my head against a wall, barely got anything accomplished, and I didn't PB. Oh well, that happens. Those are, you have to accept the reality of what you sign up for as well. I mean, I always tell people to never stream with the intention of ever getting big in the first place, because it's the most soul-sucking thing you could possibly do.
That's actually very good advice, I think, because it's, as you said, the site is huge and it's super oversaturated. Now, if you look in the directory, there are so many streamers with 1, 2, 3 viewers, just like at the bottom of everything. So
and it doesn't allow you the room for you to discover what kind of streamer you are, or what kind of person you are, because what kind of streamer you are is reflective of what kind of person. It's not a one-to-one. There. Obviously, some people have stream personas or whatnot. I'm not going to talk about the ethics of that, because I think that's perfectly valid to have a different side of your personality you bring out on stream. However, the people who try to do too much too quickly, they end up embarrassing themselves a little bit. And the sad thing is they don't tend to realize it. If I see a stream that has unbelievable production value, and it's very clear that they bought the top of the line stuff, they bought a crazy microphone, they have this super in-depth webcam, and they're streaming to 15 people. I mean, I'm just like, what's the point? I mean, sure, if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. And I know some people who have backgrounds in video production or in any sort of technical sort of thing, and that's great. If that's your passion, that's fine. But I see people who do that because they think it's the thing that will get them followers, and it reeks of desperation. It really does. And I would rather see those people with those garbage 240p webcams and the headset mics, who are just doing it because they want to have fun and they enjoy talking to the people, their friends or whatever. I think that's infinitely more entertaining. And so I always tell people, if you want to grow a stream, you have to enjoy what you're doing. You have to be good at it, and you have to enjoy it. And that's why I kind of think that speedrunning is really good for people who want to grow a stream, because it's automatic default content. Now, the hard part is sometimes you find those speedrunners who get stuck doing the same thing because they lose all their viewership when they do anything else.
Yep. You can get pigeonholed real quick.
And that's not a speedrunners only issue, by the way.
Well,
there are other. I just wanted to clarify that too. But
that's true.
Keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if Ninja stopped playing Fortnite back in 2018, all of his 12-year-olds would not have kept watching.
True.
And that's the reality of it, is that's why you have to do it, and that's why I think that it's so important to pick something you really genuinely enjoy. As far as the numbers go, I will say, and this is kind of ironic, in this day and age, the central fulcrum of building an audience has nothing to do with Twitch. I mean, and this is such a weird oxymoronic thing, but I have found my stream has gotten so much more attention in the past month and a half, 2 months, by focusing on my YouTube content rather than my Twitch content.
I've heard of this, by the way, as something people talk about. This is just diversify a little bit.
Yeah, and this is something I didn't really understand this for a very long time. You know, I think as I get older and older and I get more and more experienced, I start to understand more and more of what is actually important to do on this website and what is not. And back when my first rotation of full-time streaming, that 1 year stretch from mid 2017 to mid 2018, I thought I had this idea because I've seen many other streamers build their brand around this, is that you have to stream as often as possible. You know, I've seen the people who don't take days off. I've seen the people who stream 10 hours a day every day. I've seen the people who upload a new YouTube video every day. And what I've learned, and this,
I think we lost Zem again. Sorry.
And we lost.
He'll come back. Yep, there it is.
right as I was getting to the point.
Right as he's getting to the important stuff. Anyway, keep going.
What I have learned is that the amount and the frequency does not matter at all. It really doesn't. You could I know a streamer, and this is my counter example to that. I know a streamer, his name is 3 Cats Watching Top Gun, and he is one of the best streamers on this website. But people barely know who he is. If you're in the 2D Mario community, you know who 3 Cats is. Everyone in the 2D Mario community knows who he is. He is infamous. He is this mid-30s, like, dude who he like keeps to himself for the most part. He works a 9 to 5. I don't even know what he does. I don't think he's told anybody, but nobody cares because all he does every Saturday, he either gets drunk or he gets he smokes a lot of marijuana. He does one or the other. He streams for about 6 hours, and 700 people show up.
Jeez.
He streams once a week to 700 people on a Saturday. Yeah. And he started his, I remember when he used to, I remember back when he had 50 viewers. And all he did to grow his stream was just he like let out all of his steam on his stream. He talks in ridiculous voices. He yells at people constantly. He tells his girlfriend to go stuff it. Like his whole brand is just one enormous train wreck, and it works. And he's awful at the game. Well, he's not. If he found out I call him awful at the games that he plays, he would have a lot to say to me. But he's like, you know, not the best Mario runner. He's not the best gamer in general. In fact, it's more funny to watch him just mess up over and over than it is to actually watch him succeed. Because then the you know, when he eventually triumphs after 2 hours of failing this level, it's like a huge like celebration. But he is the counterexample to anybody who ever says you need to be as populated on the website as possible, because he doesn't have a YouTube, he doesn't have anything. He just is himself, and he streams consistently, and that's the key point: is consistency.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think more than streaming all the time. I mean, if you stream all the time, that's okay, but you can get burned out pretty quickly. I think, especially if you're not streaming to anybody.
Yeah.
And then having a consistent schedule. Like, again, we don't have a huge viewership here at the Myriacast, but we stream every week on Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
So people know when the podcast. For people who are fans of the podcast, they know when it's going to be on. So yeah.
Yeah, and trying to think what else I was going to go with this. Sorry
if I
No. I had some other ideas in mind. I wasn't getting there anyway with the subject that I was talking about.
Can I give my 2 cents while you think about and piece together your thoughts?
Please do, Otto. Please do.
So, like for me, I actually agree with like pretty much everything you just said. Yeah, actually like 100% of it. For me, I'm not like a big streamer at all, so you know you're gonna have to take this with a grain of salt. Like for me, I would say I think of this a lot like with business, and whenever I was doing stuff with, like, let's take an example. I used to run a bunch of tournaments for a very small card game at the time. It was called The Elder Scrolls Legends. It's a Bethesda game, but it's very much in the like a, oh my god, I'm just gonna call it the zombie state. There's a better term for it. That I just forgot it for the moment.
Maintenance.
Thank you. It's in maintenance mode. So, yeah. But at the time it wasn't. They were like pushing resources into it. I think like Pete Hines in particular was really excited about it. Um, and I was like running tournaments for it, and like I was a nobody and this was like in 2018. I was like a nobody in that community. I didn't even know much about the game, but the one thing that we did was we just ran tournaments like all the time on the weekends, and we were the only competitive game, so that kind of also worked in our favor, and we ended up accumulating like over 400 plus viewers. We were always the biggest stream when we were on, and
Yeah.
pretty much everybody knew us. They knew exactly when the tournaments were. All the best players were there, so we had like this unique experience. But I think for us, when we were first doing these tournaments, our big thing was, okay, well, let's try and get a couple people to watch. Let's start with like the first 5, and then let's go after that. Let's push for 10. I would say like when you get your 1 to 5 viewers that you have, just like keep keep working for more, and also just keep building yourself up, and say, okay, I want to get the first 5, and just like engage those 5 as much as possible. Be excited about those people watching you, because they're that's really exciting. Even if you have like a couple people watching, it doesn't necessarily make you like a big stream in the great scheme of things, but like it's people, a couple people seem to care. So work with that and communicate with that group, and go from there. I think that's like for us with the tournaments, I was talking to everybody in that community all the time, and that worked in our favor. I was like, I pretty much networked with the entire Tessel community, and all the best players knew of us, and they loved us because we were constantly engaging with them. And I still have clout in that community, and I still talk to those people. They'll sort of like go out of their way to help me, and I'll do the same for them. Like it's a two-way street. Provide value for one side, and the other side will provide it back. Just always think of it that way, and don't be discouraged if you only have a couple viewers. Work with that, and then go from there.
I think something else that I've learned a lot in my life, as a stage performer, as a musician, as a singer, is that there are abstract skills and there are concrete skills, and I know that's not, you don't need to be a performer to know that. That's a pretty common thing. Public speaking is a very different form of skill than skateboarding, for example.
Yeah.
But when it comes to abstract skills, the only difference between a concrete skill and an abstract skill is that abstract skills are a combination of many smaller concrete skills. And I think what streamers don't do enough, as they want to push themselves more and more, and this is something that I like, and it's not, I'm not saying that anybody ever graduates from this either, because I certainly still do it as often as I can. I ask myself, do I have a stream that I want to watch?
Yeah.
I go back, and I know some people might have issue with this because they don't like the sound of their voice, or they think it's conceited or something. But I think if you want to actually take the hobby seriously and push yourself, you have to watch your own stream back. You have to. Because one, you never know what issues you're going to see that people just are being too courteous to mention. For example, if your audio levels are really messed up and no one told you the entire time.
Yeah.
If the game is too loud or too quiet. If your jokes that you think are funny are just not funny in hindsight, like you go back, you're like, oh, that part was so hilarious. And then you look at it again, and you're like, wait, what was I even saying? Like you have to have that. You have to do it. You have to do the nitty gritty. You have to put in the hours.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, another thing is that on the subject of consistency, it can't just be the stream that you have to work on, or it can't just be the stream you have to do. It has to be this. You have to consistently work on yourself as a streamer. And then I think the third thing that I think is so unbelievably important, and no one really talks about this, is that if you want to be the best streamer you can be, you have to be the best person you can be. And so you have to go out and you have to live a life outside of streaming as well, as for my sake, for my example, right now, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to set up a structure, because I've had a really terrible sleep schedule for many years. But I'm trying to set up my structure so that I'm streaming in the day, and I'm allowing myself the freedom to talk to friends and go out, obviously not go out now, but live a life outside of streaming, because you don't like some of the best streamers, or at least the most memorable ones, are the ones who have life experience, or the ones who have funny stories, or the ones with good senses of humor. And you're not going to get any of that if you're just staying in your room the entire time trying to like work on your stream, And that was the one thing I remember when I was first starting out. I was surrounded, because I was like 22, 23. I was surrounded by a lot of people who were 19, 20, 21, who were spending time on their stream instead of spending time with their friends at school. And I was like, what are you doing? Like the college structure, the most important stuff you get out of college is the people. Like, who cares? Like, people have different opinions about this. I have a lot of opinions about the academic institution of America. But I have always believed the most important part of any college institution is not the classes you take, but the people you meet.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%, actually.
Otto and I met in college, and we've been our freshman year of college, and we've been friends for 12 years since.
I couldn't stress that enough either. Like I talked about already, the networking side of it is so critical. Like, every single person, for example, that's in the stream now, if you're trying to like be a streamer, you should talk to us outside of this stream. I'm not even joking. You should send me a note. You should send Spoon a note and say, hey, can you come check out my stream? I'll do it. I don't care. I'm like not busy tonight. I'm on the evenings. I would love to meet you. If you have a camera or not, I'd love to see a friendly face. And I'll be honest. I mean, Tricourage, for example, was in our chat. He's so honest with me. I love his opinions and his thoughts. He's so honest with me and us.
He's one of the most blunt people I've ever.
He's so blunt, and it's great. Like, really, you need somebody who's honest with their feedback. He'll tell me I'm an idiot before anybody else, and that's great. I love it when people tell me I'm stupid and they're honest.
Send a note to Spoon before Otto, by the way.
See, this is what he does.
There's Otto. There's Try being very blunt.
Like, I'm being 100% serious though, and I really can't say this enough. I don't know how Zem feels about this, but like, you can always send me a DM. My DMs are always open. I used to have people like from the Tesla community DM me constantly, and I would never get annoyed with it. I love talking to them. Their experiences of everybody coming together. The world is smaller than you think. So go ahead and I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zem. You can keep going.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, I would say something similar. However, anybody in the Ratchet community who's here right now knows very well what it's like to try to DM me about anything. I am notorious at accidentally forgetting to check my DMs for like 3 straight weeks. You guys experienced that.
Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, Zem, but as to the question in the chat about Discord servers, there is a Myriathon Discord server that goes for like the podcast here, and then the Myriathon itself, which is the charity marathon that we run twice a year. So we can get. Oh, is the bot not working?
I guess the bot's down. Oh well, sorry guys, bot's down. Everything's down.
Below the stream in the panels, there's a link to the Discord if you want to join the Myriathon Discord.
Yeah, Nightbot was down all day for me as well. Stream Elements was down all day. Yeah, this is. I'm not surprised.
And
one sec for production, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And if you're interested in watching the other, podcast episodes, the Space Myriathon on YouTube, they're all uploaded. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I think like Zem's advice here is really super valuable. I don't like. I would echo anything that he just said and agree 100%. The one thing I also do. Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to say the we're going to keep cutting each other off now. That's good. But I was just going to say the one thing that I did want to talk just like briefly about is you had said like sort of like expand your experience, but like the best version of yourself is the one people want to see. I think that's like people don't recognize this. Like, whatever the best version of yourself is, don't fake it, but the version of yourself that you find to be like the reason people find you appealing as a person, or the reason why you think you have like strengths, like where are your strengths at, really give yourself that opportunity to like evaluate your strengths and weaknesses. Because I know my strengths pretty well now. I know my weaknesses pretty well. For example, I get really excited about stuff. That's a huge weakness. I can get sold stuff and it's so upsetting to you. I can't stress enough how frustrating it is that I can be sold so easily. You could sell me a pile of garbage and make it sound exciting and I'd probably buy it. And that's what Anthem was for me. And like it's really like be willing to understand that you have weaknesses and try and don't like necessarily be like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of them, but embrace all that stuff because that's important.
Yeah, I think so. This is kind of a very heady concept I'm about to talk about, but I swear it's supplemental to what we're discussing. I think in general, people lack patience, and I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to work to what I mean. I think on the subject of streaming and in a larger scale, life in general, people do ridiculous things that are not smart because they lack the patience. And I'm not saying that people in general should be more patient, because sometimes you need to have a sense of urgency to get things done. Lord knows I would not have finished 90% of my schoolwork if that voice at the final hour says your homework is due in 4 hours and you haven't started it. You have to do it now. However, what I mean is, I think in general, when people see the way that this website rewards presence and urgency, that people assume if they're not moving forward, they're falling behind. And I think that's the worst trap any streamer, any viewer, any person could get themselves into. Because the world that we are in is such a weird and wild place, and we all experience where what we're supposed to be doing and where we're supposed to be at different rates. And that's something I will say, because I do have a lot of younger viewers, and if any of them are here, what I want to say to them is that you should not feel like you have to be in a certain spot at a certain time. And I think that relates to what we were talking about with the Twitch streaming, and that's just a thing in life in general. Like I know the people who sacrifice their college experience for Twitch streaming. It's like you just kind of lose out on both, because now you're forcing yourself to do something because you feel like you have to, and you're missing out on the experience that's right in front of you. And I think that's what it like. If this were my last speech ever, like if I were about to be swallowed by the earth right now, the last thing I would want to say is that, like, people should just live the life that sounds not always exciting, but they should live. Oh my God, how do I even word this?
Find something you love.
Find something you love, and don't feel like you're in a rush to find it.
Yeah. I'll let you finish what you're saying, but I have I have an anecdote.
I had this really I had a conversation very similar to this in my poker group last night. I have a small poker group. We play like a couple times a week, and after we were done, we ended a little bit early, but we didn't really feel like leaving the call. We just decided to start talking about where we are in life, and like we got into some really deep stuff. But basically, the conceit of it was that we had one person in the group who's significantly younger than the rest of us. We're all like, mid-20s, early 30s, I think, except for one person who was 22, I believe. Yeah, he's 22. And he is currently in the spot where he has no idea what he wants with his life because he just graduated and he was going to go to Korea to go teach English at a Korean school. But now he can't. He might not be able to do that because, the world. And so we basically just sat him down and told him that, like, even though things might suck right now, they're not always going to suck. And when you end up finding that thing that gives you that sense of joy and fulfillment, the thing that makes you happier more than anything else, that's worth the entire wait.
And it takes a long time for some people.
Yeah.
Some people peak in high school, some people peak in college, some people peak in their 30s and 40s. So.
Yeah. I didn't even start streaming until I was 22, and most speedrunners start when they're like 15, 16, you know? Like you don't have to feel like you're in any sort of rush to the finish. I mean, you know, none of us make it out of this crazy world alive. We might as well enjoy our time here while we do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know those kids in high school who are just like, you know, the most popular kids in high school and they're good at everything. You're like, man, why can't I be that guy? But
Yeah, but then they
I
peak
don't
in
know.
high school,
And they
and
peak in
then
high school.
yeah,
And then what? Then what?
Yeah.
I mean, some of them I'm sure go on to be
I'm sure
quite fine and
yeah, I'm sure.
exceptional people,
If
but
you're someone who peaked in high school and are having a wonderful life, good.
great.
That's great. We're not
Happy
trying
for
to hate on the
happy for you.
peaking in high school people.
Not trying to hate not trying to hate on you at all. Um, but I personally, when I was in high school, wish like I was like sitting behind, wishing I was that person, and I
Mhm.
wasn't. You know. And I'm gonna tell my anecdote now.
Mhm.
I'm actually just gonna kind of tell my not life story, but my past
Post
10
college
years
story? Yeah, post
post
college
college, my
story.
post college story. So for people who probably can't tell, because people tell me that I look very young all the time, I'm 30. Okay,
Oh, you're so
um,
old. Ew.
I'm so old. Um, and after college, like many people, and like this friend you were talking about in your poker group, Zim, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life after college. I majored in physics, but I wasn't that good at it. I wasn't that interested in actually like being a professor or studying physics professionally. So then I went and I became a video game tester. I tried to work my way up in the video game industry. That didn't really work out. It didn't really go anywhere. And then in 2016, or sorry, 2015,
Okay.
um, no, 2015, November, just before Thanksgiving, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And then I decided that I wanted to be a doctor. And now I'm in medical school.
Good for you, man.
So there you go.
Yeah, by the way, Spoon like called me at that time too. I distinctly remember you calling me when you're in the hospital, and it was just like that was a tough week for me too. Cuz like you just called me with that, and that broke my heart. That was like really I mean obviously it's tough for you, but that was like heartbreaking. It was like a
And no,
heartbreaking
it,
thing.
it's
Would you
not.
say? Sorry, I don't
Go
mean to
ahead.
cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Like, I actually really like the concept of like everybody has like a before and after this thing in their life. Would you say that that is your like my life was different before this moment kind of thing?
It was a turning point for sure. Like, I'll be
Yeah.
honest, when I was like in high school, I had ideations, I suppose, of going into medicine beforehand, and then I went to college and I kind of fell off it. I got sidetracked a bit. I was pretty lazy in college and didn't really do that well in college. I was like, medical school, I don't it's too much school. I was done with school. I was like, I don't want to be in school anymore. So I fell off it, tried to do some other stuff. And yeah, the type 1 was just a turning point. I was like, all right, I got to get my life on track here. I like to think that I would be a good doctor, and my parents always tell me they think I'll be a good doctor, but they're my parents. They're pretty supportive, you would think,
Yeah.
generally. Um,
Hopefully.
and I was just like, no, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go for it. And it's not an easy road. Getting into medical school is very hard, and medical school is also very hard. And then even once
Yeah.
you're done with medical school, getting a good enough score on the step exam, and then getting into residency is also very hard. It's a very long road, and it's a very difficult road, and it's definitely not for anybody. But I think it's one of those things. Always when I've talked to adult, like I'll say I am an adult obviously, but when I was younger in college, high school, and beforehand, you talk to older people, adults who if they'll tell you their story, their life story, quote unquote, and it seemed like to me, at least that point, at least I had this perception that man, all these people, they have a turning point in their life when they figured it out, and
Hmm.
they're like, that's what I'm gonna do. And that was my turning point, that's
Right.
for sure. At least that's how I feel it is right now. Maybe it won't work out, but I sure hope
Yeah.
so.
It'll work out. I can almost guarantee it'll work out. Like Spoon's been working really hard for this, so that's like, uh, I've talked to him about it. This is the best thing. So, um, yeah. For people, every time I've had some other people, like I had some person who came into my chat while I was playing like Assassin's Creed, and she was like, I don't know what to do with myself. I just graduated college, and I was sort of like laughing. If you're like 20, under 25, and you're thinking I don't know what to do with myself, I just kind of laugh because I'm like, you're 25. Take it.
You're
It's
fine.
okay. Have some fun. Get some
Take it slow.
experiences. Travel. I don't know if you like to travel. Travel. Like find your passions and go with it. Like I knew a guy who's a really good friend of mine. When he was like around my age now, which is like 31, he went and learned like coding. He learned web development, which is exactly what I did actually. I'm sort of like copying him because I'm a copycat. But he ended up like doing sales early in his life, and he decided he wanted to learn web development, and now he's like coasting on that, and he's just like having a great time. And I talked to him about that, and he's like, oh yeah, you're doing the same thing as me. You're figuring out your own way. But yeah, anybody who's like young, and this kind of like goes in with streaming too. Like if you want to try streaming, go for it. Have fun with it. You're like 25, have fun. You're like, I don't know, 18, have fun. Go for it. But just like value the things that you want. Value other stuff too. The accumulation of life experiences makes you more interesting than just streaming or just playing video games. So, anyway, I just noticed. Yeah, we remember when we were a gaming podcast.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
remember.
remember.
It's okay,
I
Co.
don't
I mean, we were on streaming for a bit, but it kind of devolved into this. But
But that's what
I
it's
think
about,
I think it's
though.
good. No, and
But like,
that's
if
that's how a
you
real conversation should be.
if
Yeah.
you want to like do anything, and like streaming is just a piece of that, like give yourself an honest effort and go for it. If you're like, especially if you're like 18 or something, it's like, come on,
Yeah.
go for it.
Try, yeah,
Have
as
fun.
Otto said, get some experience, try some things out. In my journey, I obviously, I stream casually, and I thought about being, oh man, okay, I want to try streaming, and I had some of the issues that Zem had. It's like, oh, I'm streaming to 2, 3 people every day, and you get discouraged, you get burned out, etc. And
Yeah.
and that's part of it. And the other thing I would say about streaming also that I kind of meant to say earlier when we were talking about it was, if you're having a bad day, man, don't stream. It'll show up on stream, and
Just take a day off.
yeah, take a day off.
Go take a walk.
Unless I mean, that's not a universal truth, but generally, man, I've streamed when I was in a bad mood or was having a bad day, and it was not a good stream. I can tell you that much. Like,
That people don't recognize that that's a skill that you have to develop over a very long time is like, learning how to tough out a stream on a really crappy day.
yeah,
Sure. Like that is not, I hate to make it sound like it's like this titanic effort, but that it really is not easy. Because all it takes is one dumb comment. That's all it takes.
Gosh.
yeah.
Man,
Like
that one a-hole in chat. Like,
yeah. And sometimes I'll be having a great day, and then like 3 people will come into my chat and be like, Sam, are you okay? You look really tired today.
oh my god.
I'm like, thanks for telling me I look like crap. Like,
My god. But yeah. Oh, and my last thing is, I don't know what this other thing is. Like, I just want to say this: give yourself a normal sleep schedule. I don't get people anymore. We talked to like someone. His name, I just call him Kuru. His sleep schedule's horrible. I just keep telling him, can you please get a normal sleep schedule? Give yourself like a normal sleep schedule. Don't stay up till like 5 a.m. please. Just like you're not doing yourself any favors. Like,
Yeah,
sleep is good.
I will tell you from what I've learned in the first year of medical school, it is not healthy for you to sleep during the day. You are supposed to sleep at night when it is dark. Your body has pathways in your brain and certain chemicals that are released that when it's light out tells you to wake up, and your body does not want to be asleep during the day. So again, I'm sorry. I know some people like work night shifts, and it's kind of a necessity at that point. But if you are able, sleep at night and be awake during the day. It is, you should.
That's my last point.
yeah, as somebody who spent a very long amount of my life as a night owl for dumb reasons, I've never felt better in my entire life than like the 2-week stretch where I went to bed at 10 p.m. and woke up at 6.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like I was ready. I feel like I got so much more out of every day. And like, yeah, I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's such a sick feeling.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Anything else? I don't know. I don't know. we just like, we just hammered out some real life stuff
Yeah,
there.
this has been a podcast.
This has been like
it's been
a different this has been a good one. I think it's like
Yeah.
all that stuff is really important though, and I know like there are so many people that like I'm sure them come into your chat and ask this, so this is like I hope this is helpful for people, and I hope like all the people that are under 25 understand that, you know, that you've got like so much time, so just have some fun, man. Like go out and have fun, please. I'm like
Aziz
begging
Ansari.
you.
Oh, sorry. I
No,
didn't
go
mean to cut
ahead.
you
No,
off
I'm
there.
done. Go ahead.
Aziz Ansari, the comedian, he wrote a book called Modern Romance. And in this book, he analyzes dating trends between our parents' generations and our generation. And tries to draw comparisons and kind of scientifically, well, he's not a scientist, but he hired professionals to try to help break down the data points and kind of figure out what's going on with our generation, like what has the trend been and where are we going. And more people our age and younger are starting to shirk off the notion that when you're 21 or 18 to 21, you marry somebody, you have a kid or two or three, you get a dog, you get a house, and then you work a 9 to 5 until you die. And we are starting to say, wow, that sounds horribly depressing. And then we're all starting to live a little bit more in our 20s.
Yeah.
And he in this book, he rebrands the age, like the 20s, as the age of discovery. An age where you can date around, you can figure out who you are. You don't have to, tie yourself to one job, tie yourself to any one thing. You don't have to buy a house. I mean, who our age is really buying houses?
Who our age can afford a house?
Yeah, I know, right?
Especially if we're in California. Like, good luck with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck with that, dear Lord. Like, I have considered moving to California, and every time my wallet screams at me.
It's like, you want to pay $1 million plus for a house? Have fun.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's kind of, I mean, it's bred out of a lot of things that I could get into we can get into the generational disparities all we want, but we don't really have the time for that. But basically, there's a lot more evidence coming out nowadays that's showing how important it is for people our age to go out and have these experiences and not feel guilty about it. We don't need to boo up anymore and feel like. My brother is 35 and he just moved in with a girl for the first time.
Okay.
And like, I don't know, it's just like crazy to think, because when we were kids, all I would hear is like, oh yeah, so you want to get married and have kids when you graduate college? And we're all like, yeah, that sounds great, that's what mom and dad did.
Yeah.
And now we're like, whoa, mom and dad were way too young to be marrying and having kids. Jesus.
Yeah, I can't.
Different.
Being in medical school right now when I'm 30, I can't imagine like getting married until I'm at least mid-30s, maybe.
Yeah, I know,
40.
right?
Like,
well, I'm doing that pretty soon, so I'll let you know how it
yeah,
goes.
it's true. Otto, we do have a few friends who are married, and we do have a friend from our college group who is he's very religious, and he got married like right out of college. Basically.
Yeah, he was like 24,
that sounds about right.
It was just like,
yeah,
he speed runned marriage.
Yeah, he speed ran marriage.
He speed ran that. Just went right in. Managed to find. Oh my God, Try Courage does this every time. Really, Try? Relax on me.
No.
So cruel.
Oh no, I wanted to say you seem like a great guy.
I think I am.
Don't let Try Courage get you down.
I think I am. I'll try knows I'm a wonderful
It's okay.
human being.
Try flames everybody. Well, everybody who knows at least. I don't think he's gonna flame use them.
To be fair to him, I go crazy with him. I just meme him. I come up with the dumbest jokes for him, and so he's allowed to like. He's allowed to be mine. Congrats. Thank you for the congrats on the marriage.
Try likes you if he flames you to your face.
Yeah, usually that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Like,
so, anyway, what do we have? Okay, we're running all the time. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wrap up. Is that okay? Can I wrap up or no?
Sure.
Okay, sure. Thanks. Good. So this is the This is a Myriacast podcast. I thought we talked about gaming, but now we're talking about life. We're now a lifestyle and wellness channel for gamers and such, for the gamers. If you enjoyed these lessons and some of the other stuff we talked about that I guess are like video games, we would love to have you follow us and support us in various different social channels. We already put the YouTube in the Twitch chat, but we also have the Twitter, and we have a Discord. I think that got posted. I didn't see it, but it got posted. I'm just gonna hope it did. And as for outside of Myriathon stuff, we have a website too. I built a website. I'm gonna plug it. So because I built a website for us, I gotta find that. But the other thing I was gonna say is that I just want to say again, thanks for Zem stopping by and chatting with us. This was great. Like I really enjoyed just like all the different stuff we touched upon. So for now, let's do some individual sellout stuff. So Spoon, do you want to sell yourself out a little?
Sure. Yeah. As you have probably figured out by now, I am Spoon, or SPT Spoon would be my full tag. I am that on Twitter. I am that on Twitch, and anywhere you may find me on social media. Yeah, generally we stick to gaming related topics on this podcast, but I think this was a welcome I won't say diversion,
Change
that's
of
not
pace.
the right word. Change of pace. Thank you, Otto. This was a welcome change of pace for the podcast from us us guys who are I don't know if we're a little bit older than
We're boomers.
yeah,
We're boomers to everybody. I love that. I love
we're
being
boomers.
the boomer of
They're
our
a
group.
little bit
it.
older than the majority of the Twitch crowd, I would guess. Yeah, please check out the other episodes of the podcast. If you want to check out my stream, I am currently working on the new mod for Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, the Garden of Assemblage randomizer, doing co-op races with my good buddy Dodge, and that's good fun. So if you're a Kingdom Hearts fan, you can stop by my stream. Yeah, please follow the channel here, subscribe to the YouTube if you like it, and we hope to see you back on future episodes of the Myriacast and having watched the past episodes if you have time. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Zem, for being here and bringing all your lovely viewers who were a pleasure to have in the chat today. I appreciate it.
And then Zem, you want to quickly sell yourself out? I don't think you need to, but go ahead.
Yeah, if you don't know me and you enjoyed any of the things that I said or want to flame me, either or, I don't really care. You can go to Zem92, XEM92 on Twitch. Twitter is ZemiPoo. And OnlyFans, no, we're not that far yet.
I was like, whoa!
No, that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm about to say.
I'll say one more thing, as Otto said earlier. At least for me, and I think Otto, was the one who proposed this. If you ever want to DM me for any reason, ask a question, yeah, my DMs are opens as well on Twitch, or Discord is probably the best, or Twitter as well. But yeah.
And then just to close out, I have I do stream. I didn't last week, but just because of the Myriathon event. So for me, my Twitter, since it's just been asked, is Automaton89. So let me just I can post mine. For you guys are more than welcome to post your like Twitters and stuff. Oh, well, I just grabbed the wrong thing there. So my Twitter, like I said, is Automaton89. You'll get a nice picture of me and my future wife there. And then for my Twitch, it's Automaton1989, so I'm sure you can see it in chat. I stream during the week for the most part, and Saturdays I do like something different than what I usually play. So I've been playing FF7R during the week, and then on weekends I've been playing Sakura Wars, which is a journey. So if you want to talk to me there, and then please shoot me a DM if you want me to hang out in your stream. I'll do it. Like I said, I don't care. I'll probably enjoy it. I'll have some fun. I'll probably meme with you. I don't know. It depends on what you're playing. So thanks everybody for watching. We really do appreciate it. Thank you, Zem, for stopping by once again. Thank you, Spoon, for hanging out and and surviving these years being my friend. And we will hope to see you guys next week. We don't know what we're going to talk about next week, but if you follow my Twitter, I usually post about it, or Spoon's. We usually post what the topics are beforehand. Usually at the end of the
I
week.
always like and retweet it. So if you
Yeah.
follow either of us, you'll see what the topic
Yep.
is. That usually
Yep.
goes out on Friday, and VODs for the episodes go out on
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays,
Yeah,
usually on
Wednesdays.
YouTube.
Depends
So,
on if my computer wants to. I don't know.
yeah,
So
that's fair.
thanks everybody, and we will hopefully see you guys next Monday, same time, same channel. So yeah, and have a good morning or night. I don't know where it is for everybody. See ya.